Hello friends, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel Football Therapy. Yes, that's the name of my YouTube channel. Nearly forgot. It's been years, nearly forgot. Usually I'd start re-recording at this point, but hey, life's full of mistakes and we moved. Today I want to discuss Chelsea's interesting and criticised new approach for financial exemptions. Ooh la la, very interesting video on TalkSport YouTube. Simon Jordan shockingly defending Chelsea and their transfer stance, their financial outlays, and indeed this new exemption-ish approach. I also want to talk about Andre Santos, the superstar midfielder, Brazilian team that we're trying to get into the first team as soon as possible, which is really interesting, and a little bit on the Mason Mount culture wars, because you man out there, yes, you know who you are, you're boring me. So we're going to talk about that, so keep yourselves strapped in for the end. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for dropping a like on the video here in the press conference room, of course not in the Stamford Bridge studio today. And we get the microphones up for this one because this is really important. Many of you know I've got a kitten here in my new flat. That's right, reporters. And although it's still really tiny and probably too scared to come into this room, I thought I'd show you a picture. So, here is the new kitten. Yes, that is the cutest thing I've ever seen, and possibly you have too. Her name is Mia, she's a tabby, and it looks like she's got an M on her head, which we found out after my niece named her Mia. So maybe in the future she could be a mascot on the channel, and we can get her in. Anyway, look, I want to start off with the financial stuff. So Chelsea were, of course, sanctioned under Roman Abramovich, and in the time of sanctions, of course, we couldn't sell any, merch, whether that's actually the Chelsea megastore or online, and of course, we couldn't have people attend football matches. Chelsea were playing matches in the Premier League and stuff just to fulfill like their obligations in the league. They were allowed to continue playing football, but they essentially weren't allowed to generate money. That's what the sanctions were. Now, I watched Simon Jordan speak about this very well. He rightly said Chelsea were hamstrung in a geopolitical, thing where it was everything to do with the owner and nothing to do with the business itself in Chelsea Football Club. So with that, Chelsea will argue that because they were sanctioned and they were unable to generate revenue in that period, 20-30 million pounds or whatever it would have been, that they want that taken into account when looking at financial fair play. Now, firstly, I may have mentioned this sort of fleetingly on the channel before. Should we do this? I totally understand why we would do this, but I am hopeful that our approach, our plan, isn't dependent on the regulators going, yeah, okay, that's fine. I think we're hopefully just doing this as a bonus, as in, look, guys, for X amount of time, us as a business, as an institution, as an isolated entity away from the previous owners, was unable to generate revenue. And if you look at the averages, even like maybe, rounding down, but look at the averages of what we usually make in that time, it would have been X amount. So therefore, please do take that into consideration when looking at our books, when assessing our situation. And the more you look at it and the more you think about it, you're like, yeah, heck yeah, Chelsea should absolutely have a sort of, whether it's an exemption or some leniency in FFP. Like I said, I just hope we're not like banking on it, like we need this to happen. Like in the same way, I'm not hoping we're banking on top four to be part of, to make all this big financial outlay okay. But yeah, like I said, the new owners aren't silly sausages, ladies and gentlemen, and they should have that all, accounted for. But hopefully they do find a way to also get this additional leniency and exemption, because we weren't able to generate revenue. And in a time where financial regulations are a hot topic due to the Man City story that rumbles on, that I, of course, reacted to, of course, the microscope's going to be on so many clubs. And, of course, Chelsea are the big spenders. So there will be that. Right, let's move on and talk about Andre Santos captaining the Brazil under-20 side. I think he scored, 6 goals in 6 games from central midfield, a strike, wearing, 18-year-old, isn't he, Andre Santos? I believe he's still 18. Yeah, I believe he's still 18, wearing the captain's armband for an under 20, you know, which could be like a 20-year-old. Yeah, man, he's not 19 until May, until the summer. So, you know, young teen, absolutely shredding it up, wearing the skipper's armband and scoring loads of goals from central midfield. Now, Chelsea, this is coming from Fabrizio Romano. Chelsea want Andre Santos to join the first team as soon as possible. They want him for this season. They are working on a work permit. So the only issue currently is getting him a work permit. He is 18, so he's an adult in the UK, but maybe he's an under 21, so that's different. So there's different approach. You'd like to think we could get this done, and it's very, very exciting. I mean, look, Chelsea, in many ways, I don't want to say this is a dead rubber season. Chelsea could still make Europa League, and that is important financially. But we're not in a title race. We're not in an obvious top four race. There's a little bit of slack to sort of try things. And seemingly, Graham Potter is doing that. He's chucking the new players in. He's handing out debuts left, right, and centre. Well, at the beginning, when he was appointed, and we didn't see Dennis Zakaria for weeks, we were like, Potter's clearly not going to use the new boys, but he's just throwing everyone in. He's throwing in, you know, Enzo Fernandez after a day in being in the country. He threw in João Felix after a day in being in the country. Noni Madueke's made his debut. Everyone has, you know, everyone's playing. So I feel like, you know, and he's played the youths as well. Lewis Hall, Chukwuemeka. He's playing, you know, he has played Omari Hutchison, though he's sort of choked a little bit on the big stage and was meant to go out on loan. You know, he's played like Cesare Cassidy and stuff, so he will play the youngsters. And this kid looks like he's built different. He's 18 years old. He's scoring so many goals. He's clearly like, you know, expressive. I don't know, would you play him next to Enzo Fernandez? Like, it's all very exciting, isn't it? There's a lot of talent. We might be languishing in mid-table, but there's lots and lots of excitement to be had in this young talent. And I'm buzzing on Andre Santos. I think the more he tears it up for Brazil. It's just really exciting. I mean, you know, many people that know a lot more about international football than I was so excited when we signed Santos. They were saying like, this is proper Brazilian wonder kid. And I just sort of took, you know, I was like, bowed down to their superior knowledge about this kind of stuff and said, wicked, I'm excited. But since he's done this under-20s tournament and he's just scored so many goals from midfield, and yes, drink every time I say it, but wearing the captain's armband, I don't know, man. I'm getting more and more gassed. We're going to have a lot of midfielders. I mean, our midfield is the weakest point for me. You know, you got Thiago Silva and Benoit Badiashile keeping clean sheets. You know, granted, Chilwell and James gonna need time to reintegrate in terms of form, but they're coming back to fitness. You know, we've got loads of attacking midfielders, and a list of attacking midfielders long as your arm. Striker's kind of a problem, but we'll deal with that later. And I'm feeling pretty excited. So let me know what you think about Andre Santos down below in the comments section. And yes, I do want to end this video and talk a little bit about Mason Mount, because oh my god, many of you won't know about this peculiar culture war, and good luck to you. And if that is you, turn off this video now, go for a walk, breathe in the fresh air, and just live your life. You're a free man or woman, you know, just go and do your thing. You're not tainted by this peculiar toxicity that, you know, circulates around social media, and indeed a lot of football media, whether it's like YouTube or podcasts or whatever. Essentially, Mason Mount's, of course, out of form this season. He's not playing well. I think there's probably a couple of reasons. Well, 3 reasons. 1, people just go out of form sometime. 2, it's like many of players, he needs to sort of find his place in this ever-changing team and formation, tactics and approach. And 3, of course, he's currently in negotiations with a contract. Now, Chelsea are trying to change the contract infrastructure, the how, like, you know, people are paid, which I think is really, really great. I fully endorse it. And obviously everyone has to get on board. Whether Reece James, there's an idea that he signed a big deal. I don't know that for sure, but the truth is, everyone's got to get on board with this new structure. If you want to play for Chelsea, you get paid a basic, you have incentive-based targets, I guess, and you can get bonuses. Perfect. Everyone has to be on the same ship together, and there's got to be a team mentality. And on that, if you haven't actually seen my latest upload about Gilbert Enoka, the mental coach, the winning coach we've brought on, I would highly suggest you go and watch my previous upload, because I'm very excited about that personally. Now back to Mason Mount. So he's playing badly this season, but I don't need to tell you he is a good football player. Some may say great, some may say manager's dream because of the tactical versatility. And he's, player of the season 2 seasons in a row, and like the youngest player to get 10 goals and 10 assists or over in the Premier League since Eden Hazard. But despite all these things, people are just wanting to attack him and put him down. They're very much in the international fan base of Chelsea. Ironically, there is a anti-English bias, which is peculiar because Chelsea, of course, plays in the English Premier League. They're an English club playing in the English capital. Some of these people will be like attacking him for being English, but then being like, we're the best team in London, like flexing that. Well, London is England's capital, mate. I take great pride in Chelsea being an international, multicultural club with a global fan base. I think that's incredible. I'm very thankful for my followers who are international all around the world. I've got a massive following in USA and all parts of Africa, which is brilliant. Really, really like that, and it's humbling and it's exciting. But the truth is, there's nothing bad about an English player playing for Chelsea Football Club, and there's no bias towards Mason Mount. The managers like him. International, non-English. Thomas Tuchel's German. He absolutely adored Mason Mount. People like him, and if he doesn't sign for Chelsea, another top club will snap him up. Now, he isn't, talismanic like Eden Hazard for Chelsea. Of course not. And he is lost and needs to find himself again. But Jesus Christ, just get over it. I said a tweet yesterday because people are either like just trying to put him down for the sake of it, trying to sort of denigrate his achievements and his statistics and stuff. But the truth is, he's a good lad. The whole squad and staff love him. He's professional. He's hardworking. He has been at Chelsea forever. He understands the fabric of the club. He'll work hard in any position. His productivity is very good, and his understanding technically is great. It's like when Jack Grealish, weighed in on this and when he was being interviewed for England, saying, look, we're not going for the same position, and Mason Mount's like so good. People who don't think Mason Mount's good don't understand football, and that's coming from a really, really like good footballer and Jack Grealish that Pep Guardiola signed because of his understanding of the game. I don't know, man. I despair. The thing is, he's not playing well. He needs to ride the bench. He's not the greatest player ever, but at the same time, he's very good and very important for us. So people just need to get over themselves. And to be honest, I hope he does sign a new deal, and I hope he does it soon, so everyone can just get over the fact how he's on a new long contract. And then hopefully we start winning games, he starts scoring and assisting again, and everyone just gets over themselves. So I wanted to talk about it. I'm loath to do it, but I just see the conflict everywhere. If you're one of the people that are either fighting too hard for Mason Mount or just pointlessly slagging him off, just take a walk, bro. Anyway, my rant's over. So thank you for joining me. I just really do appreciate all your support, as per usual. And like and subscribe. And I love you lots. I'll see you soon.